What up, y'all? It's Nino. I'm doing a quick reaction video to Nore apologizing for Kanye West's opinions and stance that he took on his Drink Champs podcast. He's talking to Pete Rosenberg, Hot 97 host, I guess, and he's basically cowering out, busting a weenie move, and it's wild, y'all. The whole internet went nuts today. I'm doing a quick reaction video. I'm going to play the audio. Sorry I don't have the video on the screen, but I have the audio here. I'll stop it and go as I please. Check this out, y'all, and tell me what you think. Real quick, I just want to say this, y'all. I think it's very despicable, disgusting, and it's not what a real man does is apologize for another man's opinion or free speech. But this guy basically is coward to the elitist, and it shows right here, y'all. Very interesting. Here goes the interview of Nore in Hot 97. Check it out.
According to the press release.
So that brings us to our friend Nore, who's with us right now. Nore and EFN decided to have Kanye back on Drink Champs.
Oh, horrible.
And I guess I'll start here, Nore. What was the logic for you guys in giving him the platform to come on and talk with you?
Well, the logic was the same way you guys are giving me the platform. I think you guys have love for me. You guys have respect for me, and you guys think that I should have a say. There wouldn't be no Drink Champs if it wasn't for me coming to this very show and viewing my expressions. You know what I'm saying? I remember I came up with the idea to do Drink Champs after Prodigy wrote his book. And Prodigy wrote his book, and I had to have a rebuttal because obviously I was in the book. You know what I mean? And I would come up to this show, I would come up to the other show, and I started to realize that, you know what? I should have my own show. So this started from there. Now with Ye,
it's kind of interesting, right? He's basically saying that he started Drink Champs in order to get his opinion out there, that he needed to basically voice his concerns about a book that had, you know, him mentioning it. I read the book. I heard the autobiography written by and spoken by, read by Prodigy, what he's referring to. So that's basically what he's saying. It's kind of interesting that it's kind of the same deal here. He's trying to find somewhere, an outlet to, you know, give his free speech, and he makes his own show. So very interesting that he's basically was trying to get his opinion out there, his stance, and he feels like he was being silenced to the point of him having to make his own show. Interesting. Let's continue.
I have a relationship with Ye. You know, when he was going through a lot of the things that he was going through, he would call me and he would actually listen to me and take my advice.
Really?
So I felt I could control the situation. I felt that I could control the interview. And I've learned early on that I didn't. Like, you know, as a black man, I feel like I failed. As a human, I feel like I failed. But as a journalist, I succeeded because as a journalist, you're not really supposed to have an opinion.
Great point. I think this, y'all. I think he knows he had a gold interview, but he had to fold to the powers that be in order to, you know, solidify and keep his position where as to where he's at now, y'all. He folded for the money. He folded for the power, for the position he has, and he basically stated it right there. As a awesome, you know, journalist, you know, as someone that would do a great job as being a journalist, he knocked it out the park. But as far as him being in the industry, this kind of stuff will get you blackballed. Let's go.
To let people talk. And my biggest critique on Drink Champs is, Nore, you always cut people off. And this is the one time I didn't cut the people. Didn't cut them
everyone
off.
says
and
you should have cut them
and
off.
Everyone's mad. Like, so I should just stick to what the script is and cut everyone off. But I sincerely apologize to anybody that was hurt by Kanye's words, by Kanye's actions, because I didn't really realize that sometimes you're so much into the interview, you're not even in the interview. You understand what I'm saying? And so for the first 5 minutes, Kanye had walked in and he said he had people filming. And he told to my producer, he said, if you tell my people to stop filming, that he would walk out. So that the rhetoric of George Floyd, when you hear him speak about George Floyd, that's in the first 5 to 8 minutes of the actual interview. I actually check him and I say, you shouldn't say that. I actually check him about the Jewish community. I actually check them about the black community, but you don't see that till 2 hours in the interview. So what you're seeing right now, what we're getting backlash for, is for the first 5 minutes of the interview. And you guys understand that when you're trying to have a long interview or in-depth interview,
you got to pace yourself.
You got to pace yourself. So, but if the people are mad at me, the people are saying that was irresponsible of N.O.R.E. You know what? I'm gonna say yes. Y'all right. You know what I mean? Like it was. I should have checked him right then and there. As soon as he said it,
checked him. He should have silenced him. He should have not let him give his opinion. How dangerous is that? Hey, N.O.R.E, how would you like it though, if you were silenced, which you claim you were? You went ahead and made a whole podcast to combat this silence that you were hit with. Very interesting. Let's go.
I hear you, and because I love you, I went and kept watching. I was like, everyone's saying they didn't check them at all. Let me keep going. And I got to the parts where you guys did try to push back. I mean, listen, you guys went the homie approach of like, hey, but what about, which is what you should do because he's your homie.
Right.
Like it makes sense. That was your route. Do you feel though? My only criticism would be this, N.O.R.E. There was one part where you're trying to really push back at the end, and I was like, oh man, N.O.R.E.'s too drunk. He's too drunk.
I was too drunk. I was too like. By the way, we're called drink champs, guys. We're not political champs.
To be honest, I could see where N.O.R.E. is uncomfortable with this, this train of thought that Rosenberg of all people, right, that he's giving him, trying to nail him down as to why he didn't stop Kanye from saying what he said. Wow, how crazy that sounds. But N.O.R.E. is basically, I think he's happy here that he has the crutch, or the excuse, should I say, that he was inebriated. It looks like a sigh of relief on this guy's face that he can sit there and say, hey, I was drunk. It's drink champs. That's what it's called. He basically used that as his handicap to get out of this target of, what is this called, y'all? The censorship, the blacklisting. We know what it is. They do it to us all the time. Pretty funny, though, that he's basically leaning on the drinking and using the name of the drink champs to kind of get out of this train of thought that old Rosenberg is laying on him. Check it out.
You know what I'm saying? We're called drink champs. We're here to get these people inebriated. We're here to have, because that's when you get these stories that you guys love so much, is when I get them drunk. So unfortunately, sometimes I get drunk with them. It's just he stood with that ideology. He stood with. And by the way, I love Kanye.
I don't know if Kanye was drinking. He probably wasn't. I hope he wasn't. I hope he wasn't doing drugs like these guys do in the podcast. But he said he stayed with his ideology. Basically, that's why the Bible warns us and or commands us to be sober, because you see what happens when you get inebriated. You just start talking foolishly. And he couldn't get Kanye on this one. Check this out.
Kanye West. I really think that we shouldn't give up on Kanye West. I really think that
it's getting tough.
We should talk. Yeah. I know this.
Right quick, don't let that go over your head. I made a post about this. This really hit me when I listened to some of this earlier. I posted on Instagram. He's saying that he does not believe we should give up on Kanye. And to be honest, I believe he's talking about the black, population or audience or whatever you say. He's talking about his people, right? That's what I believe he's talking about here. And if you catch old Rosenberg in the background, y'all, sneaky little guy that he is, limeball, he says, it's getting hard. That should really creep you out, y'all. This guy Rosenberg is basically telling N.O.R.E. that it's basically time to give up on Kanye West. This is very telling, y'all. I'm going to rewind it. Check it out again. Listen to this limeball, Rosenberg.
Love Kanye West. I really think that we shouldn't give up on Kanye West. I really think that
it's getting tough.
We should talk. Yeah, I know this. I really think, because right now, to me, I just got the phone with Talib Kweli, and I say, Talib, I think you should reach out to him. I think he needs a most depth conversation. I think he needs a Dave Chappelle conversation, because he's not having these. So when he's having them, he's so much in dominance of this. And like I said, let me not railroad. I'm here to say I apologize to anybody who felt like I let them down. Because I did feel like I did let them down to a certain extent, because, like I said, I did check him later, but by the time I checked him, it was already kind of like too late. So I can't be mad at Baller Alert for posting the footage that I don't want them to post, because I'm not mad at them when they post the footage that I do want them to post. So I do feel let down. I do feel like I didn't do the right job, but this is a learning experience. I did not go to school for journalism, but that's not an excuse. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a special ed student. It's not an excuse.
Wow. You're using it as an
should have checked him as soon as he said it.
I appreciate.
This guy is basically worming his way out of this situation. He don't want no part of this backlash that we receive as Christian patriots, MAGA hatters, whatever you want to call us. He feels the heat, and he's having to apologize for basically doing what his podcast set out to do. Let's listen to Rosenberg here, y'all.
Appreciate that sentiment. Nore, what do you got?
I will say that because I was so frustrated watching clips of you trying to get a point across, but there was never really a point made because you were trying to gather your thoughts and you were clearly very drunk.
You weren't ready.
I'll give you some pushback. I feel like sometimes when you sit down and you're going to talk to somebody, especially when you know that shows like The Shop couldn't even air their episode because of the hate speech and the consequences that things can come out of. I just felt like, God, I really felt like.
I felt like I had control. I feel like I had control. So, and then at the time, it's wild. Like, I've been the guy that they said blackballed. I've been the guy that they didn't let in Hot 97. I've been the guy that wasn't allowed in MTV, BT Studios, Viacom Studios. So I've been there. So I was thinking of that. I was saying, you know what? I felt like I was blackballed before. So let me let this guy speak. And I did let him speak. And it's a 3-hour interview. It was only 2 minutes of it where I didn't have control of it. You know what I'm saying? So am I apologetic? Yes, I'm super apologetic.
Here he goes.
It's a learning lesson for me. I've never faced this before, but I want to say that I'm sorry. You know what I mean? I could sit there. I could say, that's only Kanye West, and it's only what he said. But I have a responsibility when I have an audience.
But do you think? How about this? Let me question you on this. Do you think you were too?
Right, quick before we go into Rosenberg, this guy reminds me of that guy from with the cat, y'all, on that show with the Smurfs. That guy reminds me of that dude with the cat, the freaking the evil villain chasing the Smurfs. Right, take it for how you want. Anyways, he wasn't ready for Kanye. Who would be ready for Kanye for that kind of conversation? This guy's very intelligent. Yeah, you might say that some stuff he says don't make sense, might even go over your head. But I think this guy wasn't ready. It's Drink Champs. How are you going to try to control a man like Kanye on Drink Champs? I've seen Drink Champs. They sit there, drink. They talk about debauchery, drugs, sexual deviance, wickedness, perverseness, and you're mad about this guy, about his free speech. Yeah, you don't ever control no other conversations when they're talking the most wickedest things on your podcast. But again, the Bible says, woe to those that call good evil and evil good. We're living in those times now, y'all. Let's continue.
Thirsty to have this moment.
Oh, this is interesting. He's trying to shame him. Rosenberg, I heard somebody else say this earlier, but it makes sense. He's trying to shame him for trying to have a popular person on a podcast to make it more popular. He's basically telling him, were you thirsty putting Kanye West on here? Like, what the hell? He could put who he wants to put on his show. Check this out, though. Let me rewind a little bit.
And it's only what he said, but I have a responsibility when I have an audience.
But do you think, how about this? Let me question you on this. Do you think you were too thirsty to have this moment? Were you looking too much to get the eyeballs?
Peter, to tell you the truth, I already scored the touchdown.
Right.
It was just me spiking the ball. You know what I'm saying? I had already scored the touchdown. I'm just being honest. I feel like we're the biggest in the game. I feel like we are. And I feel like I already scored the touchdown. I didn't need the spike. And that's the problem. I wanted to spike the ball because I was very hurt by the awards. Yes, I won the award. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Cass.
Let him talk.
I got a question, man. So
Jump in, Cass.
Wow.
So at no point when you guys saw this, you didn't think, it might be a bad idea to let this out? That it might, it might bring us backwards for whatever progress has been made. Because in my case,
wow.
After this, I spent this weekend talking with
DJ Cass One,
a bunch of my friends that feel differently, that have a different opinion, that were making roads in one way, and now we're like, yo, but your man's saying this, and I'm talking to General like I'm gonna say, like, some of my white friends that lean a certain type of way, you know, we still have conversations like, yo, this, that, or the third. But now they're like, yo, man, but your man is saying this, or your man is saying that. But look, so now we're having these conversations where we're stepping backwards. At no point did you guys think like, hey, yo, you know what? It might be a bad idea.
Wow.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Who cares?
That's why I'm taking responsibility. I can sit
let
here and
them
say,
talk.
you know,
let the conversation be had.
Well, I did know. I did know to a certain extent. But But what it was I didn't think he was going to spread this ideology. I didn't think he was going to go there. I thought that he was going to have a couple of drinks. He smoked blunts with us. I thought it was going to be lighthearted. And
but y'all
it was only in the beginning. It was only in the beginning.
I know.
It's Ye. It's Ye. It was only in the beginning, and he threatened my producer that if he couldn't film, he would walk out. So we was trying to, you know, that's how our interviews go. Our interviews go. Rosenberg been on this platform. We try to lighten you up, and then we get you drunk, and then we get you to turn to our side. And
I know
we tried to do that.
Turn to our side.
We did, but it's Ye. And
he's basically just saying that they try to get you drunk to get you to turn to their side. This fool ain't making no sense. I honestly believe there's certain parts in this interview when he is being honest, and there's certain parts in here where he's having to play the role, y'all.
And I learned my lesson. Because at the end of the day, as a journalist, I did my job. I let a person talk. As a journalist, you're supposed to have no opinion, no options, none of that. But I'm black. I am George Floyd. I am Virgil. I am, you know what I'm saying? I am that. And I didn't know.
Are you Candace Owens? Are you Kingface? Wow. It's crazy.
Until I saw it. I don't watch my own interviews. I just think I'm that dope that I don't even watch myself. You know what I'm saying? So when I watched myself, I was embarrassed. I was like, wait a minute. What did you just let him say?
Well, and another lesson for you is that being a journalist isn't just being objective, but it can be fact-checking too. And there were times where he needed to get checked. That part, when the George Floyd part.
Fact checking. This guy wants this guy to fact check this guy on a show that don't do fact checking. He wants him to fact check him live. N.O.R.E. probably ain't never even heard that word in his life. Fact checking, y'all. This is wild. Everybody, listen to this part about George Floyd.
When he referenced the Candace Owens documentary, like that's fact. Like that's not a story she's telling.
Yes.
That bothered me. You know what I'm saying? That he really
bothered me.
That.
It bothered me, Rosenberg.
It didn't bother me. It didn't bother us.
I do not follow that. I do not. You know, when the George Floyd thing was happening, I didn't actually go out and march, but I was on every call as if I was marching. And
you didn't march.
I felt that. I saw that same video. I saw that video.
Stay at home.
You can't tell me that knee was not on the neck. You know what I'm saying? I saw it. I saw it with my own eyes. So when I looked back at the interview, I was like, damn, N.O.R.E., like, why did you wait 2 hours to address that? Even though I did feel like I addressed it, but I addressed it way too late in the interview, way too long, and I'm embarrassed. So to everybody that was, by the way, I could blame this all on Kanye West. I'm not. I want to sit back and say I'm irresponsible for letting it go. I mean, I should have listened to Mav Carver. Yep.
N.O.R.E., at any point, maybe off the camera that the audience didn't see, did you have any type of follow-up conversation with him about this?
No, you didn't, lady.
Yeah. My whole thing was soon as the powers that be that we're down with found out about this, they just tried to remove the episode, and I wanted to defend freedom of speech. I wanted to defend that, so I was like, why? Like, you know what I mean? Like, boom, 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 boom.
Good.
And now that I think about it, it's like sometimes freedom of speech just ain't free. You know what I mean? It's just a different world that we live in, and I regret it. Do I regret it? I want to be honest. I regret it.
So if you had to do it again, you would have passed on the interview or not put it out?
No, I would have been the better journalist that I am. I would have probably not drunk. I would have probably stayed sober the whole time and just stayed on the subject, because I still believe, people have a right to speak, whether it's something that you agree with or not, but you have a right to also, check them on it and check them immediately. And that's what I regret. And I love,
like, it was really interesting too, because for people
check
watching
them, y'all, quick.
You guys don't know N.O.R.E. personally. And when N.O.R.E.'s jumping in at one point, and you're like, Yeah, but we love Jewish people. We love Jewish people. Like, I'm like, no, he's sincere. Like, he has a lot of Jewish friends. He's really, really serious about this. And Ye would not accept it. Like, he wanted to say what he was saying.
Steve Rifkin is in the building. Steve Rifkin is in the show. My friend Diego is in the show. Eric Manton is in the show.
Wait, Steve came with. Steve was with Ye?
No,
he just came.
He knew what he was walking into.
Got it.
I needed black people there. I needed Jewish people there. I needed everyone there to know that the people that, if you are offended, they're right here, Ye. They're right here, Ye. And Ye has a picture. If you look at the behind the scenes, that's Ye hugging Steve Rifkin. That's Steve Rifkin.
Oh, he's so anti-Semitic.
One of the biggest Jewish people in the world. Wu-Tang Clan. This is him. So I'm thinking, if anybody's supposed to check him, let my Jewish constituents tell me right then and there.
And they did.
So that's the reason why I was a little thrown off, man. You know what I mean? I'm not the best journalist in the world. So that's the reason why, like I said, I could be here and say, yo, that's just Ye. But I want to apologize for my part of it. You know,
how many times are you going to apologize for it, Nore?
You know, letting this rhetoric fly. You know what I mean? I didn't notice it till it was out already. You know, because like I said, I don't edit. We don't edit. Rosenberg, you did our show. You know that we don't edit. We want the purest of the purest.
Oh, believe me, I've wanted you to edit things from other people's interviews before. No, you don't.
I bet you did, Rosenberg.
What?
I bet you did.
We're going to start editing. Rules have changed.
Wow.
Hey, Nore, listen, I know you're going to probably continue to get dragged for a little bit, and I'll now probably get dragged for being too easy on you. But
Rules
guess what?
have changed.
I know where your heart is, and I appreciate you coming on and taking ownership today.
Yeah, we appreciate your honesty.
Taking ownership for another man's opinion.
I now know.
All right, Nore, love you, man. Take care of yourself.
Thank you, guys, man. All right, one love.
Wow. My thoughts on this is it's very disgusting to see a grown man apologize for another grown man's opinion, but it's expected in 2022. Just like Nore said, new rules, y'all. New rules. Now they're gonna want to edit stuff, which they probably ain't gonna do on that damn show. Rosenberg. The name says it all. Basically, people like him are the gatekeepers. People like him want to stifle, stop, censor, and ban free speech. Nore had it right there. He was basically onto it, but then he folded for the love of money. I just wanted to bring this to everybody's attention, y'all. This is a video called Nore addresses Ye Drink Champs Backlash. 769,000 views in one day. And the first comment I see is what everybody's saying. This literally proves Kanye's point. Go look at the comments yourself, y'all. Most people are basically backing up Kanye and saying the same thing. Nore folded to the elite powers that be, and that's what's expected in America in 2022. You're an American, you're a patriot, you got grit, act like it. I'm out.